Breaking news just ahead on the Valley today. Tear gas, fireworks, and rubber bullets. Police and protesters go at it for a second night in the Minneapolis suburb of Brooklyn Center.
Also coming up, switching gears in the Derek Chauvin murder trial. The prosecution is done. The defense is up next.
Plus, some local city leaders come down on the side of pet owners who love their animals. But first, just when we thought winter was over, we wake up to snow on April 13th. Ice is also building up on the roads all around the valley.
It's a pretty nasty morning out there for this time of the year. It does make for dangerous driving if you don't slow it down and pay attention. The Valley Today's Brian Sherrod. He joins us live with a look at what you can expect when you head out the door. Good morning, Brian. Where are you?
Well, good morning, Jordan and Lisa, and we made our way to Broadway this time. We were showing you around 45th Street earlier and 13th Avenue as well, but we want to definitely show you more of this road. So as we back up and definitely show you, this road is more wet than any other road, but all because it's wet doesn't mean it's not slippery. So we want to show you that the snow has melted on the Broadway area, but you still want to be cautious on this road because, again, it is slippery. And what we can tell you with some good news is we only saw one minor accident all morning. So that's a good news right there when it comes to traveling on these roads. But what we want to mention is you still want to be cautious on the way to work and on the way to school as well, because again, there are many more impacted areas in downtown, as we just showed you earlier with the last hour of where we were. Now we want to also mention, we want to mention that you want to make sure you're being cautious on the sidewalk as well. Sidewalks are slippery. So as you're getting out to walk into school or walk into work, just make sure you're just being cautious where you're stepping, because the worst thing you want to do is fall on a sidewalk because you're not paying attention. So again, just be cautious this morning.
And I was looking, it's 26 degrees, so it's like, oh, it looks pretty nice out there right now, but it's cold and it's icy.
That is well below freezing too, and downtown there can be a little protected from the wind that would maybe blow things around as well, get outside of the city a bit more,
right.
And that is another thing to take into consideration. Brian Sherrod reporting live, keeping us updated. Thank you.
Let's get a check now of what we can expect when you head out the door for the rest of your Tuesday with meteorologist Lisa Green.
Well, good morning. It is tough throughout the valley. Fargo, Moorhead, up toward Grand Forks as well. Take a look at our view at Home of Economy there on our First Alert Skycam network. We've got just a gray, desolate looking situation. So the snow that melted when it fell yesterday, and we had those drops, those liquid drops on the camp. Well, it's frozen back up again here today. And then more snow has fallen on top of that. And you can see on the parking lot, on the road surface, we're talking about snow, breezy conditions and limited visibility where the snow is falling, including in Grand Forks here today. And that's exactly what we're dealing with throughout much of the valley here. So we want you to use caution all day long here. This morning, pretty tough with the ice and snow, those icy spots with those temperatures below freezing. We'll see things kind of warm up a little bit this afternoon, but most of us right around freezing or below still. But there may be some slushy areas that you're dealing with for the evening commute, and still some scattered snow showers. So this is going to be tough through the day. A look around Cavalier, you can see that we've got lower visibility in the distance and some snow across the roadway, looking pretty wintry there. Red Lake around Highway 89 there, you can see that we have some tire tracks on the road. So this is something you may encounter too. Where where vehicles have been traveling, it's fine, but you stray off the roadway surface just a little bit or out of those tire tracks just a little bit, and you could hit some ice or some conditions that are a little more slick. So here's a look at your radar here. We've got some scattered areas of snow in the south, more widespread up north, all rotating their way around a low center in the Duluth area. That's eventually going to move on to the east, and then we'll see conditions that start to wind down, but it won't be until tonight. So this is with us all day. You can see the snow affecting places like Grand Forks, another roundabout to move through Devil's Lake, back through Crookston, Southern Valley, Fargo, right between some areas of snow, but I'll put this into motion here, and you can see that there's more dropping in from the northeast. And then just south of Fargo, you can see that snow moving into Wahpeton, Breckenridge, and Fergus Falls. Visibility is going to be down. You can see we're down to less than 2 miles in many places in the Northern Valley. So out at the bus stop, not pleasant. We're talking icy sidewalks this morning, some snowy conditions, temperatures below freezing this afternoon, getting to 32, but still getting those snow showers. So the kids will need their snow gear today. Winter weather advisory in effect until 7 o'clock in the Northern Valley, but all of us have the potential for snow. Here's a look at our snowfall potential. There could be many places that get a little more than an inch today with the ongoing snow that's going to be moving through. Some places getting into that 2-3 inch category in some of those spots. But this ends. We'll quiet things down starting Wednesday.
All right, keeping us updated as this system moves through. Lisa, thank you this morning.
Breaking news just into our newsroom. U.S. officials are today recommending a pause for the single-dose Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine. The move is designed to give researchers time to investigate reports of clotting associated with the shots.
There have been 4 serious cases of blood clots in Europe, and the CDC says it is taking those reports very seriously. Also breaking overnight, police in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota clashed with hundreds of protesters for a second night in a row after this weekend's deadly shooting of 20-year-old Dante Wright during a traffic stop. Law enforcement used tear gas and flashbang canisters to try and get the crowd to leave, and then protesters launched fireworks toward police.
Police later started advancing on the crowd and firing rubber bullets. In addition to Brooklyn Center police officers, state troopers and members of the Minnesota National Guard are also stationed just outside of the police department. Officials say Wright was killed during a traffic stop over the weekend by an officer now identified as Kim Potter.
The police chief claims the shooting was accidental and that the officer meant to use her taser instead of her gun. The officer is heard warning him that she was going to tase him before actually shooting him with a bullet. Defense attorneys in the Derek Chauvin murder trial will present their case to the jurors starting today. Prosecution, it wrapped up yesterday by putting one of George Floyd's brothers on the witness stand in an effort to further humanize him for the jury. Prosecutors
also used him to counter the defense narrative that Floyd was at least partially responsible for his own death due to his use of illegal drugs. Philanese Floyd told the jury about how they grew up poor in Houston, his brother's passion for sports, and how George was devastated by his mother's death. The defense did not use his appearance to bring up George Floyd's drug use, which has been a major issue in the trial. A 71-year-old Minnesota man is dead after being hit by a semi while riding a bike. It happened yesterday morning around 8 on an I-94 off-ramp near Monticello. State troopers say the semi-driver had come off the interstate onto the ramp and stopped at a stop sign. He started making a turn and hit the bicyclist in the crosswalk. Gordon Anderson of Monticello was killed.
A Hubbard County Sheriff's deputy is recovering from a serious hand injury after being attacked by 2 large dogs. The sheriff says the deputy was serving restraining orders over the weekend when a bulldog mix and a pit bull came out of the home and attacked. The officer tased one of the animals and the other dog bit the taser and then pulled it from the deputy's hand. That caused a severe wound. The deputy shot the dog to stop the attack. That dog then had to be put down. The proposal generated a lot of comments on our Facebook page when it surfaced late last week, but Dilworth city leaders say they won't limit the number of pets that people can have in their homes. The city council voted unanimously last night against limits on pet owners. The proposal would have allowed only 4 pets in any one home.
One update to Dilworth's pet ordinance was approved, calling for microchips in pets. That will replace the current system of annual pet licenses. Some students at Fargo North High School are trying to remove the stigma around mental health in schools. They're hoping to open the conversation through their new group, Mental Health Matters at Fargo North.
It is a student-led program built to bring awareness and offer a safe space to talk about mental health.
Mental health is not something that we should silence or be quiet about. And I've struggled with my depression, anxiety, more so depression since middle school. And you know, I have very supportive parents, and they have always been open to getting me the help I need if I need it, but I know that that's not the same for every student.
For more information on how to reach out to this group, go to our website, valleynewslive.com, and click on this story.
Backpacks are sending kids to the chiropractor, and parents say COVID policies are to blame. That's because access to lockers is still restricted at a lot of schools here in the FM area because of the pandemic.
Some parents are looking for a compromise and hoping to get time for students to pick up and drop off their supplies.
I mean, even that would help, just so he doesn't have to carry everything with him all day.
Local school districts say there are no plans to change locker policies this year, but the rules could be a bit more relaxed next fall.
Check this out in Spain. Some classrooms are back in session, but they do look a little different than they did pre-pandemic. After a year of remote learning and socially distanced classrooms, one school is now spaced out on a sandy beach.
Yeah, pretty tough place to learn. Some barefoot pupils, they wiggled their toes in the sand as they played xylophones, while others crunched over their workbooks to prevent the breeze from blowing their papers out to sea. Now, the lessons, they're part of a broader project known as Fresh Air, which aims to create better air quality for children during the COVID-19 pandemic, including through open air learning. Around here, I suppose we could maybe do that in the middle of a field or something.
I want to go to school there. That looks awesome. I guess I would take that just outside of the classroom.
Yeah.
In the summer.
Yes,
Not right now.
yes, yeah, now a
Not
little
today.
chilly this morning. Let's get the answer now to our question of the morning on Facebook. That question, the average American willing to wait 4 minutes for this.
Makes sense. The answer is a cup of coffee. Remember, you can play along by heading to our Valley News Live Facebook page every weekday morning. The Today Show and CBS This Morning are just about to start, but the Valley Today rolls on, including coverage of this winter weather right now on the Fargo CW.